The whistle that never echoed back. What happens when doing the right thing becomes a death sentence? This is the story of Olivia Bennett, a mid-level compliance officer in a multinational pharmaceutical company, who started asking questions about irregularities in clinical trial data and died under mysterious circumstances just months later. Officially ruled a suicide, Olivia's death left behind a tangled web of missing files, encrypted drives, and frightened co-workers. But the truth, as you'll soon see, refuses to stay buried. Welcome to True Crime Hub. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss stories that the world tried to forget. And if Olivia's story moves you, share it, because silence is exactly what they are counting on. The idealist in a corrupt system, Olivia Bennett, 32, was smart, principled, and quietly determined. She graduated with honors from Northwestern with a degree in regulatory affairs, later earning a master's in bioethics. She joined HelixPharma with high hopes, drawn by the company's promise to heal the world through science. Her job in internal compliance started quietly. At first, she reviewed financial disclosures, procurement orders, and safety documentation. It was mundane but essential, ensuring the company followed legal and ethical standards. Olivia, a perfectionist by nature, thrived on doing things right. But within a year, she noticed something odd. A batch of trial documentation for a drug named Cardiffexil, meant to reduce cardiac arrhythmia, contained discrepancies. One site in Nigeria reported 100% patient adherence, with zero side effects. Odd, Olivia thought. Too perfect. She ran a cross-check with HelixPharma's site registry. The Nigerian clinic didn't exist. She flagged it to her manager, Edward Crane. His reply? Don't get bogged down in red tape. Focus on what matters. That response marked a shift. Olivia began to feel eyes on her. Emails took longer to send. Colleagues whispered and fell silent when she entered the room. One HR official even asked why she'd been spending so much time in trial logs. Undeterred, Olivia kept digging. She printed files, encrypted hard copies, and saved emails to a personal encrypted drive. She reached out discreetly to an ethics oversight contact and confided in Sasha, a friend in the clinical analysis team. Sasha warned her plainly, these people protect themselves first. Be careful. Threats in the shadows, strange things began happening. Olivia's apartment was broken into, nothing was stolen, but her documents were moved. Her laptop was found on, though she was certain she had shut it. One evening, her dog, usually calm, barked uncontrollably at the front door. When she checked the peephole, no one was there, but tire tracks were fresh in the snow. That night, she received an anonymous email. Some things are better left alone. Olivia didn't scare easily, but she understood the message. She called her father, a retired attorney, and told him to keep a backup of her files. She changed passwords and used burner phones for communication. Despite everything, she kept going. With Sasha's help, she identified over a dozen patients in trial records who either didn't exist or had died with no adverse event reports filed. This wasn't incompetence, it was criminal. Her breaking point came when she confronted Edward Crane again. You're looking at data that's not your business, he warned, coldly. This job isn't for heroes. Olivia receives an unsigned letter in the mail. You're in over your head. Last warning. The silenced messenger. Olivia's resolve hardened. She contacted David Lenz, a former FDA regulator turned whistleblower advocate. She arranged to meet him in Chicago. They met at a cafe and she handed him an encrypted USB with thousands of documents. David was stunned. If even half of this is real, they'll do anything to suppress it. Olivia nodded. Then let's make sure they don't. 2 weeks later, Olivia was dead. She was found in her bathtub, wrists cut, water cold, wine bottle nearby. Her landlord had entered the apartment after water began leaking into the floor below. Police found no signs of forced entry. Her phone was factory reset. Her laptop had been wiped. A suicide note, neatly typed and unsigned, was found on her kitchen table. It read, "I can't fight anymore. I'm sorry." But Olivia didn't drink. Her therapist said she showed no signs of depression. Her father confirmed she was planning a vacation. Sasha found a voice message left at 1:14 a.m. the night before. They know. I'm scared. If I don't call tomorrow, something happened. Death by silence. Authorities quickly labeled it suicide. No autopsy was ordered beyond a superficial examination. No toxicology screen was run. The case was closed in 2 weeks. The company issued a statement. We are saddened by the passing of a valued employee. We respect her family's privacy at this time. But Sasha wasn't letting it go. She contacted Marcus Rowe, who had finally seen her earlier message. Together, they began a parallel investigation. They traced Olivia's data trails, cloud backups, Slack messages, shared folders. One contained a file labeled Phase 3 suppression plan. Inside were redacted names of trial supervisors, payment records to outside consultants, and risk evaluation charts marked information management, high priority targets. Olivia's name was listed. Marcus' car is broken into. His laptop, containing copies of Olivia's files, is stolen. The corporate machine HelixPharma denied all wrongdoing. Their PR teams launched campaigns about their dedication to safety. But behind the scenes, damage control was in full force. Internal documents began to leak. Whistleblower protections were retroactively revised. Former employees received cease and desist letters. A researcher in Brazil who echoed Olivia's findings went missing for 2 days, later surfacing, silent and frightened. Marcus published a story, The Whistleblower Who Wasn't Suicidal. It went viral. Online communities exploded. Hashtags like #JusticeForOlivia and #ExposeHelix trended globally. The movement she sparked public outrage pushed lawmakers to act. Hearings were scheduled. David Lenz testified, as did Sasha. Olivia's father spoke through tears. "My daughter died trying to save lives, and the people responsible are still walking free." Protests erupted at Helix headquarters. Shareholders revolted. The CEO resigned under pressure. But no criminal charges were filed. The encrypted USB was never recovered. Neither were the final files Olivia had saved just days before her death. Sasha started the Olivia Bennett Foundation. Marcus's documentary, Asking the Wrong Questions, won international awards. But the battle was far from over. A new email arrives in Sasha's inbox. From Olivia's email address, long deactivated. They are still watching. The ghosts of truth years passed. But Olivia's story stayed alive. A congressional investigation reopened the case. A new whistleblower came forward, an internal auditor named Thomas Greer. He had backups. He had proof. Among the documents was an internal chat between Helix's legal counsel and a security contractor. They discussed surveillance on Olivia, noted her erratic behavior, and discussed preemptive containment. This time, prosecutors listened. In 2028, a grand jury indicted 4 Helix executives for obstruction, data fraud, and criminal negligence. 2 pled guilty. 1 fled the country. The 4th went to trial. Still, no murder charge. Insufficient evidence. The trial ends, but in a back hallway, Thomas Greer is assaulted by a masked man. He survives, but won't talk again. The echo that lingers today. Olivia's name is carved into a memorial at Northwestern University. She is remembered as a symbol of bravery and of warning. Her case led to the Bennett Whistleblower Protection Act, passed in 2029, expanding legal coverage and security for corporate whistleblowers. But the truth remains, no one has ever been charged in her death. Her encrypted drive is still missing. And questions about the full scale of HelixPharma's actions remain unanswered. If Olivia's story moved you, don't let her name fade into the silence she fought against. Share this video. Speak her truth. Demand change. Subscribe to True Crime Hub and help keep these stories alive. Because justice doesn't begin until we refuse to forget.